It is extremely painful when you are the fan of a team that has so much talent that just doesn't get the job done. I'm a Vikings fan. I go through it every Sunday, Thursday, Monday. Whatever day there's football being played, I can promise you I go through it as a Vikings fan. But to sit there and watch the Las Vegas Raiders get pummeled by the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't even know what to say at this point. 48-9 was the final score there. I kind of knew from the first snap or from the first drive when Josh Jacobs got thrown to the ground, like a rag doll, by the way, and Josh Jacobs doesn't deserve to be treated like that. He is a grown man that is a heck of a football player, and Mike Hughes, the former Viking, goes and scoops it up, scores, his second touchdown of his career. It's fantastic. But I think at the end of the day, the biggest travesty for me is watching a team with talent that just, I don't know what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been on the receiving end of those losses, whether it was high school, middle school, college football. I have been through those losses where maybe a handful of dudes show up, maybe less. And I know it's tough because you are going up against the juggernauts, the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, offensively they seem unstoppable. They just look so smooth. They look so smooth. And it's hard to go up against that with a different mindset and think you've got a shot when you're going up against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. But it's not like the Raiders or the Jets have the personnel of the Jets, which, by the way, they actually have some talent too. But, I mean, the Raiders have talent. I mean, Derek Carr, I feel like, I don't know if he's tapered off because he wasn't playing like he was playing in the MVP conversation just a little bit ago, and then all of a sudden decides, it's just not working. And then on the flip side of that, you've also got players like Josh Jacobs who only had 9 carries, and a part of that is game flow and everything down by a couple of scores. I get it, but and the Raiders had a tough time running the football too. I don't know if it's getting a whole new interior offensive line and a whole new offensive line altogether. Maybe not Colton Miller. I don't know, but I think the inevitable, I think the obvious is here. I think the Raiders need to rebuild, and that's hard for me. That's hard for me to say because we've been hyping up the Raiders all season long. They play like they shouldn't beat a team, or they play like a team real tough, and then they beat them when they shouldn't. Like it's just, I don't know. It's mind-boggling. Like they have all the talent in the world, and it just doesn't seem to translate for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's the coaching staff. I think Rich Bisaccia has dealt with a lot. Obviously, the coaching situation earlier on in the year did not go according to plan, but this was a rough loss. I think it turned a lot of heads, and I think it just kind of showed us all that what the Raiders really need, and that is a rebuild. Now, I don't think you need a full-scale rebuild. I think you've got enough pieces, guys like Josh Jacobs, Peyton Barber. I think you keep him around. He seems to provide a spark every time he's on the football field. I think you keep Hunter Renfrow. Zay Jones seemed to be out there as well. Brian Edwards, a couple of catches today. I think you find your new Henry Ruggs or Deshaun Jackson, or maybe a diet version of Deshaun Jackson, a guy that stretches the field in the draft. You just find a speedster that just goes out and just takes care of it. Darren Waller didn't play today, so that was kind of a big thing as well. So I don't know. I think it comes down to the fact that the Raiders do need to rebuild, but not a complete rebuild. They've got so many pieces like we've mentioned in the past. Now, on the defensive side of the football, I mean, the Chiefs were pretty much able to run the ball, especially in the red zone, pretty much at will. I mean, you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who had a couple of touchdowns, finished the day with 37 total yards, and then Derek Gore had a long touchdown run as well. So, and I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's the Chiefs. They're just such a tough team. Like, they make it look so easy, and it's hard to defend. But I think it's time to stop delaying the inevitable. I think the Raiders are in need of a rebuild. I think a quarterback could be in the draft that they might be attracted to. I don't know if Derek Carr is the problem. I don't think he is. I think if you can get him some protection, I don't think he can be. I think he could be a very good quarterback, and I think if you can run the football like the Raiders could back in the day with Marshawn Lynch, those beef boys up front, I don't know. If you can run the football, that just makes life a lot easier for quarterbacks, and I just feel for Derek Carr right now because it's not all his fault, but he's probably going to be the scapegoat or made out to be. I think, if they could have some semblance of a running game, I think it could be a whole different story. But again, the running defense for the Raiders just not up to par. But again, there's a lot of rebuilding tools that I'm very excited about. Guys like Trayvon Mullen, Jonathan Abram, Jonathan Hankins, I think can still ball. Trayvon Morig Woodard, I think is still a very talented safety in this league, and he's going to have a very bright future. Max Crosby is a young leader on that team. You have guys like Unique Ngagwe who to sack. I think Unique might have a couple more seasons where he can leave his mark. And then finally, a guy like Malcolm Kuntz. You were talking about a guy that last couple of games, last month has been balling. Like, there's pieces. There is pieces on this Raiders squad. I don't know where you go from here. I think that there needs to be a changing from the top to the bottom, GM all the way down to head coach, in my opinion. I think it's time that the Raiders look at some options. And if they, and again, it doesn't need to be a full rebuild. If they really want to get back into contention, it doesn't need to be a full rebuild, but it is time for somewhat of a smaller, at least, allocated version of a rebuild, because the Raiders have too much talent to be playing that 48-9 against the Chiefs. It's just a travesty. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment to help people find the show. Make sure you guys also in the description down below visit our website at thesportsbeefpodcast.com. Leave a like and a comment. Like we said, it helps people find the show. Also, please remember, in the description, we do have all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. And also give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, make sure you send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would be glad to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Las Vegas Raiders needing to rebuild.